Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 10 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab, scroll down to grade 10 math, and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter Algebra. The lessons we're going to cover today are ratios and proportions, scale drawings, word problems, properties of exponents, and simplify radical expressions. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Here I am on grade 10 math. Chapter we are right now is algebra. Let's just start with the first lesson, that is ratios and proportions. Do the ratio 1 by 2 and 9 by 18 form a proportion. So we are given the ratios, they are 1 by 2 and 9 by 18, right? We need to see if they form a proportion, right? So we have a fraction 1 by, the denominators are 2 and 18. So multiplying this fraction 1 by 2, then you multiply this fraction by 9 just to make the denominator same. That makes 9 by 18. So now both the fractions are equal. So that means they form a proportion. Got it? Let's just start with the test questions. Basically, you need to make the denominator same, right? Okay. Do the ratios 11 over 10 and 8 over 5 form a proportion. So we have 11 over 10 and 8 over 5. So multiply, make this denominator equal to 10, multiply it by the 2. That is 16 over 10. So 11 over 10 and 16 over 10, they do not form a proportion, right? Because the numerator is still different. So they do not form a proportion. The correct option is no. Do the ratios 19 by 20 and 2 by 4 form a proportion. So let's just make the denominators equal, right? That is 19 over 20 and 2 over 4. So 4 times 5 is 20. So 19 over 20 and 10 over 20. So again, they do not form a proportion. The correct option is no. The correct option is no, they do not form a proportion. Do the ratio 1 by 2 and 5 by 10 form a proportion? So yes, they do form a proportion. If you multiply the fraction by If you multiply the fraction by 5, both the fractions are exactly equal. The correct option is yes, they do form a proportion. Do the ratios 4 by 12 and 1 by 3 form a proportion? Yes, they do form a proportion. Option number 1 is the correct option. Do the fractions 1 by 2 and 8 by 16 form a proportion? So which is the correct option? Yes, they do form a proportion. Option number 1 is the correct option. Do the fractions 1 by 20 and 3 by 20 form a proportion? No, they do not form a proportion. The correct option is do the ratio 13 by 10 and 4 by 12 fraction. Yes, they do. They do not form a proportion. The correct option is no, they do not form a proportion. Do the ratios 4 by 3 and 20 by 15 form a proportion? Yes, they do form a proportion. Okay, okay. You can complete the lesson. Just next lesson. The next lesson is scale drawings word problems. A parade departs from City Hall and finishes at a park. On the map, the parade route is 9 centimeter long. What it what is the actual distance between City Hall and the park if the scale of the map is 3 centimeter to 1 kilometer? So basically, on the map, it is 9 centimeter long, right? So the scale used is 3 centimeter to 1 kilometer. So that you need to form a proportion that is 3 by 1 equals 9 by d. Now let's just solve it for d. So d equals 3. Let's just start with the test questions. In Beverly Hills, two Hollywood actors own houses. They are 4 kilometers apart, right? So actually, they are 4 kilometers apart. How far apart are the actors' houses on the map with a scale of 2 centimeter to 1 kilometer? So the scale is 2 centimeter to 1 kilometer, right? Now you need to calculate if that is 4 kilometer, how much originally it is 4 kilometers, so how much is it on the scale, right? So 1 times 4 is 4. So 2 times 4 is 8. So that is 2 times 4 is 8. So 8, that would be 8 centimeter on the map. Brandon drew a scale drawing of a house, the garage, which is 14 centimeter long in real life, is 35 centimeter long in drawing. What scale did Brandon use? So originally the garage is 14 meters long, right? 5 centimeter, we need to calculate how much it meters, right? So that is 35 centimeter and originally it is 14 meter. So 5 times 7 is 35, right? So what number times 7 is 14? That is 2 times 7 is 14. So option number 1 is the correct option. 2 meters it is. So the scale is 5 centimeter to 2 meter, right? Kelly drew a scale drawing of a house in its lot. She used the scale 1 inch equal 4 feet. 1 inch to 4 feet. If it is the actual length of the house driveway is 24, that is 24 feet. How long is the driveway in the how long is that? So you need to calculate how long is that driveway in the drawing. 4 times 6 is 24. So 1 times 6 is 6. That is 6. Option number 1 is the correct option. Destin is an electronic officer, election officer. On election day, he travels to the polling place, which is 64 kilometers away from his home. On a map of Richmond County, these two places are 2 centimeters apart. What is the scale of the map? 64 kilometer, 1 centimeter to. So we have 2 centimeter apart, and that is 64 kilometers. 1 times 2 is 2, right? So what number times 64? It's 32. Option is 32. Option number 1 is the correct option. Jonathan and Slot. He used the scale 1 centimeter to 6 meters, right? That is 1 centimeter to 6 meter. In a drawing, the patio is 2 centimeter wide. What is the width of the patio? Times 2 is 2. So 6 times 2 is 6 times 2 is 12. So option number 1 is the correct option. That would be 12. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is properties of exponents. Write the expression as a fraction with a positive exponent. So you need to write down this expression with a positive exponent, that is g exponent negative 7. So if you have to write them down in the positive exponent, you need to write with a positive exponent. You need to write it in the denominator of 1, right? So that would be 1 divided by g exponent 7. Let's just start with the test questions. Exponent negative 9, exponent negative 3. So basically, if we have an exponent like this, a exponent m exponent n, we can write it as a exponent m, and you need to multiply both the exponents, right? So it would be m. Negative 9 times negative 3 is exponent 27. Number 1 is the correct option. So option number 1 is the correct option, that is m exponent 27. Simplify r exponent 8 times negative 9. That would be r exponent negative 72, because 9 times 8 is 70. Simplify d exponent negative 7 times negative 6. So negative 7 times 6 is, yes, that is d exponent 42. Option number 2 is the correct option. Simplify h exponent negative 7 times 5. So which is the correct option? That is m exponent negative 35. Option number 1 is the h exponent, sorry. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, simplify m exponent 3 exponent 4. So which is the correct option? That is m exponent 12. Option number 1 is the correct option. One over a square, which is the correct option? That is a exponent negative 2. Option number 2 is the correct option. 9 exponent negative 3 exponent negative 2. So which is the correct option? That is g exponent 6. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, v exponent 3 times v exponent negative 9 and v exponent 4. So when we have same bases with different exponents, we need to add them. That would be v 3 minus 9 plus 4. 3 minus 9 is negative 6 plus 4. That is v minus 2 and v exponent 2 we can write as v 1 over v exponent 2. So option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is simplify radical expressions. Square root 490. Let's just make the factors right there. 2 times 5 times 7 times 7. That is 7 square root 10. Let's just start with the test questions. Subtract 5 square root 7 minus 6 square root 7. So just treat square root 7 as a variable. Like, so square root 7 square, they are the like terms. You can do 5 minus 6 and square root 7. So 5 minus 6 is negative 1 square root 7, or either you can write negative square root 7. Option number 2. Negative square root 2 minus 3 square root 2. That is negative 6, negative 3. And that is negative 9 square root 2. That is 9 square root 2. Option number 2 is the correct option. Square root 490. Let's just make the factors. 7 times 7 is 49. 2 times 5 is 10 times 70 times 7 is, that is 7 square, and 2 times 5. 7 square root 10. Option number 1 is the correct option, that is 7 square root 10. Square root 63 w square. That is 63 w square. Let's just factor out 63. 7 times 3 times 3 w square. That is 3w square root 7. That is 3w square root 7. Option number 3 is the correct option. Negative 7 square root 5 plus 4 square root 5. So which is the correct option? That would be negative 3 square root 5. Option number 2 is the correct option. Square root 126 d square. Let's just factor out. The factors of 126 are 3 times 3 times 14 d square. So we have 3d square, 3 square d square, and square root 14. So that is 3d square root 14. Option number 1 is the correct option. Read the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on, we have covered today are ratios and proportions, scale drawings, word problems, properties of exponents, and simplify radical expressions. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you, or either you can write them down in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So, which is the correct option? No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye, everyone.